If you're looking to create, grow, and sustain your wealth, download and subscribe to the Pain Points of Wealth podcast at BeBullish.com with Bob, Ryan, and Chris Payne. It's your podcast for market insights, money tips, and real talk on the economy. Download and subscribe at BeBullish.com. The Rita Cosby Show on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
And now let's go to breaking news.
Breaking news.
Let's now go to Jesse Garcia. He is the chairman of the Suffolk County, New York Republican Party. And Jesse Garcia, you were one of the lucky ones to be there inside the chamber when President Trump was giving his State of the Union address, just wrapped up a few minutes ago. Tell us what it was like being there and the mood and what you thought of the speech.
Rita, it was great to be with you again. The mood was electric inside the House chamber. I was lucky to be here as a guest of Congressman Andrew Garcia, who's also the Homeland Security Chairman, and my partner, Michael Torres, the Suffolk County County Conservative Chairman, was joining us today as well. And the president's speech was spot on. He used average Americans, heroes from our neighborhoods and our streets, to epitomize and demonstrate the importance of his policies, the policies that are making America stronger, more secure, more wealthier, and bolder again in our country's, in the world, quite frankly.
You know, Jesse, watching it and going through it with all our great listeners here, literally around the country, millions of folks listening here to the Rita Cosby Show at this moment. And it really seemed like two different worlds. Like the Democrats would not even stand up. Even some of them weren't even standing up at that great moment when the hockey team came out, or when Irina Zaruska, her mother, came out and was sobbing. That was so emotional. These were moments where how could you not stand and honor these incredible people? How did it feel like when you were there? Were you surprised that some of them wouldn't even stand up for things like that?
It's unfortunate, but I'm not surprised. We've seen the Democrats and their far left agenda and embracing them do anything they can not to give Donald Trump, our great president, the accolades as he acknowledges not just his policies, but the average Americans that have benefited or are heroes that have demonstrated the freedom and liberty and protected that freedom and liberty that we all enjoy here in our country. And so, honestly, I'm not surprised, but I think the president said it best. You know, he's direct, he's straight talk, he's from New York, so we speak it bluntly. He called out those policies and those political parties and Democrats that have tried to stymie the growth that he has helped resurrect in the last, year that he served as our president.
You know, one of the things, too, the moment with the Democrats, Jesse, Al Green was removed or left. I'm not sure which early. And then Ilhan Omar and the others, when he started talking about the Minnesota fraud. I mean, you can't make it up, Jesse.
Well, they can't make it up because here's the issues. What are they going to do? They're going to try and deflect attention away from $19 billion in taxpayer monies from all Americans being corrupted, being defrauded, and basically out the door with no benefit. These were going to political allies, allegedly, in Minnesota for organizations that were supposed to help those in need and the most vulnerable. Learning centers, that they can't even spell the word learning right. And, of course, the autistic community and our children to help them. But those monies weren't going there. They were going to those groups that were just want to perpetuate the failed liberal policies. And, of course, there's no bigger demonstration of failed liberal policies than Minnesota.
Yeah, and one of the other things that I thought was an amazing moment, Jesse, when he looked at the Democrats and he talked about the open border policy, he said, you were in the room. You guys were the ones who allowed this policy to happen over and over and over again. And it was your open border policies that sort of put us in this position, and called them out by name. And then also on the taxes, where he said, you guys all voted against the big, beautiful bill. One of the things also, Jesse, and it's always great to get the sense of what it's like to be in the room at that moment. what I loved about President Trump was he started talking about these real Americans, pointing out to the mom who's the girl who's going to get, I think, $5,000 more back because of the no tax on tips. What was that like? And by the way, how far away were you from any of those folks in the gallery? Were you near any of those, or were you lucky enough to be near the hockey players?
No, I was across from the hockey players, and I was on the opposite side of, the president's seating and where their family was sitting and those guests were there. Where I was near was a Marine that received the Congressional Medal of Honor for his injuries during the, operation in Venezuela that led to the arrest of Maduro.
Wow.
And the freeing of that country. I mean, it was a touching moment. I will tell you that, the room was electric. It was energized. It was enthusiastic. A great majority, an overwhelming majority of the gallery stood with the Republican majorities and Republican officials when they spoke about those issues specifically you spoke about. Closing the borders, the fact that there have been zero illegal aliens, migrants, and criminals crossing our borders for the better part of 9 months. The fact that we passed the largest tax cut in American history, no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, no tax for senior citizens, and no tax on on loans for American-made vehicles. These are real savings that are going to demonstrate and pump money into this economy that's already roaring back to life with inflation, I think, as the president points out, down to 1.7% as of last month.
I'll give you a chance also, Jesse, because you're so eloquent. Abigail Spanberger, who is the governor of Virginia, who did the response, the Democratic response, she started talking about how Trump's reckless policies are causing tax hikes. He's planning another tax hike. Where is she getting that from?
She's getting that from her own policies. The fact that you have those governors in blue states and newly minted governors, like here in the city of New York, Mayor Mamdani. What does he do? He wants to, provide a lot of free services, groceries, buses, and other services to non-citizens and illegal citizens and the criminals. But at the same time, how is he paying for it? By taxing everyone almost 10% of a property tax hike. The Democrats are the party that taxes everyone, while the Republicans want to invest in America by giving the American taxpayers their money back so that they can decide their future and how to better spend that. And the best way to spend that, as you know, Rita, is back into our economy, creating jobs, purchasing goods, moving our economy and the GDP higher and higher.
And, before I let you go, Jesse, you sound like you're on a high. I'll tell you, it is. I'm so jealous. I have been there during the State of the Union. It is such a cool thing. As you know, I was senior correspondent for Fox in Washington, so I got to spend a lot. It's always like a gift. You have to pinch yourself. What was your favorite moment of tonight? And who did you run into? Just give us a little sort of a color of the room.
Probably the color of the room, honestly, to be there and each and every one of the stories of the Americans that the president pointed out to, their challenges, the way they overcame those challenges, how good, sound Republican common sense policies have lifted them up and have made their lives better and made America better and made us all able to achieve the American dream. Those moments and times with the real Americans that he pointed out and he invited as his guests, that was the highlight for me.
Well, it's a highlight for us to be able to hear from you minutes after the State of the Union address. Jesse, I know you're right there still on the Capitol, and you got a lot going on there. We're so appreciative for you to call in. Jesse Garcia, thank you so much. Of course, the great chairman there of the Suffolk County GOP. Thank you, Jesse, so much. Lucky you. Thank you, Jesse.
Thank you.
Thanks so much.
Every week, the Payne family cuts straight to the real financial story.
The one question, Bob, everyone's asking is, are we in an artificial intelligence bubble? You've been through boom and busts. What do you think?
No hype, no myths. Just what actually matters to your money.
Does feel very similar to what we experienced in the 90s. Where are we, though? Are we in 1995, 1997, 1999?
Listen to the Pain Points of Wealth on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
LifeLock, how can I help?
The IRS said I filed my return,
but I haven't.
1 in 4 tax-paying Americans has paid the price of identity fraud.
What do I do?
My refund, though.
I'm freaking out.
Don't worry, I can fix this.
LifeLock fixes identity theft guaranteed and gets your money back with up to $3 million in coverage.
I'm so relieved.
No problem. I'll be with you every step of the way.
1 in 4 was a fraud-paying American. Not anymore. Save up to 40% your first year. Visit LifeLock.com/podcast. Terms apply.